NXT might be the best wrestling show on a consistent basis. Honestly, better than Raw, better than SmackDown, better than Dynamite, better than Impact. There's so much good that could be said about it, but we got to talk about Deadline. Did it meet my expectations? What's going on? It's all coming up right here, right now on the Ango Show. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring that bell. This way you never miss a video on the channel. Obviously, NXT Deadline was this weekend, and there's been a lot of conversation about NXT Deadline, and there's been a pretty much, I would say, from my perspective, there seems to be a lot of positive that's been, spread throughout social media about the event. And of course, I watched NXT Deadline in its entirety, and I was very excited for NXT Deadline. I feel as if NXT has really become the most consistent show. The way that Shawn Michaels and the team over there books the show is very, very consistent. It feels like there's always a game plan for everything involved. And there was a lot of things that I really took from this event that gets me even more excited about NXT and its future. First and foremost, let's just be 100% transparent and clear. This show had a lot of good to offer, but there was two people who walked away from this show as, really for me as a wrestling fan, I feel like these two people are going to be very big stars. There's other people on the show that are going to be big stars, but there's two people that really had a performance that truly made me believe in them. And the first one was Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray is the Evolve Women's Champion, and it's very clear as day that Kendall Gray is going to be a massive, massive star for WWE. Her charisma, her in-ring ability, her timing, her reactions. I mean, literally, if there's a scale for what perfection is supposed to look like for one of your prospects, I think Kendall Gray is like 10 out of 10. She actually won the Iron Survivor Women's Challenge, and I did not expect that in the slightest. That right there, just like that match, and just in general, that match was really, really good to watch. It was very enjoyable to watch. But for me personally, watching Kendall Gray win was unexpected, so I did not expect that. And it was also just very entertaining to the point where I'm like sold on her. She had a 10 out of 10 performance. She's been having great performances, but I think this performance solidified her as one of the next big things in WWE. And it's just, when it comes to women and potentially main eventing WrestleMania, yeah, I'm going to say it. I think Kendall Gray is probably going to be one of those women in years to come. I think if they find the right storyline for her for WrestleMania one day, she will be main eventing. For sure. The second performance that I was very, very, very impressed with was Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. They've had a very interesting story that's been told for a while now on NXT television. Tatum Paxley obviously lost the belt back, and now, JC Jane's champion again. But the story between Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame is a very strong storyline. But within this storyline, it's really allowed Izzy Dame to not only be a credible heel, but it's really allowed for Tatum Paxley to come across as another big star. So she's my second MVP. She is the second person that when I see her on TV, like I'm thinking she is going to be a very big success story for WWE and its main roster. And it's like, to me, I feel like after this story concludes with Izzy Dame, because sure enough, WWE is going to keep it going, which I think is the right idea. I think for Tatum Paxley, eventually, like the main roster should be calling her name. What a great match. And this match is a great match because the storytelling throughout the match was really that good. It just doesn't get any better than that. And those two matches really, really, really felt like a big deal on this card, which maybe Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame shouldn't have felt as important, but I just think with the strong storytelling and then the in-ring stuff, it was good. Very, very good. And I give a lot of props to WWE for pulling that off. Not to mention, you can't forget about Ethan Page and Mr. Iguana, which, yeah, obviously kind of predictable with Ethan Page retaining, but I think that's the point. what Ethan Page is kind of doing right now is like he's not needed on NXT by any means, but the work that he's doing is so incredibly fun to watch. And then, of course, he's also the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champion, which is very fun. So this guy is going, he's going after all the AAA guys. Him and Mr. Iguana was the perfect kind of match, Mr. Iguana doing his comedy and stuff like that, and Ethan Page not really buying into it. It made for a very fun watch. Obviously, Ethan Page retaining was the right call, but a very, very solid, fun time within, the time that they were given. But then really, I mean, you got to look at the men's Iron Survivor, and that was really big deal. Leon Slater coming in looking great. Joe Hendry looked great. Javon Evans obviously winning the match is the right call, but he looked great. I think everybody in this match, just like the women's Iron Survivor Challenge, it was a very fun, polished match. This is literally one of my favorite gimmick matches in wrestling. I've been saying for years now, since they've introduced it, like they should probably do this on the main roster, because that's how great of a match type it is for NXT. Javon Evans winning, amazing. And obviously we saw Oba Femi defeat Ricky Saints, so we get Javon versus Oba. That makes me very intrigued. They're going to go up again. So that just makes me really, really happy in general. But then one thing that I found really fascinating was, with Oba Femi, he beat Ricky and he became a champion again. Now he's going to Saturday night's main event against Cody Rhodes. That's going to be a whole thing that we got to pay attention to. But Javon Evans at New Year's Evil will get the world championship opportunity. So I like that opportunity for Javon Evans because I feel like he's like the face of NXT. He's going to be the face of NXT. He's ready for the main roster now. But I've been saying that. Like, he's clearly one of the top guys that he's going to be in WWE. He's going to be a top guy in WWE for many years to come. So that really excited me. But then what really, really, really excited me about NXT Deadline and what really made me feel happy about this event was the fact that Tony D'Angelo returned. But it doesn't look like he's the Don anymore. Tony D'Angelo, to me, I feel like he's getting repackaged. And he took out Javon Evans, and obviously Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo are going to revisit that story. I mean, that's the beauty of NXT Deadline, was like all the stories that were told were great stories. Then you're leaving me to desire more from those stories. But now you have me wondering, okay, well, what's going to happen with Tony D'Angelo? What's going to happen with Oba Femi? What's going to happen with Javon Evans? Tony D'Angelo had a gimmick that I don't think was going to be suited well for the main roster. I really don't think the mobster gimmick was going to be suited well for that. So now we see Tony D'Angelo with the new gimmick. He comes out. They do the copyright thing. I like it. Personally speaking, I like it. I thought NXT Deadline was an awesome show. And props to WWE for really being consistent with NXT. I think we could sit here and we can talk a little bit more about the inconsistencies of Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite and TNA Impact, but I think NXT is truly the most consistent wrestling show, and that's why people tend to be extremely happy with the outcomes. Even these matches, like some of these matches were just really, really good matches. Well, really, really good matches mean nothing if there isn't a good storyline, and I think that's where NXT is delivering. Just overall, a thumbs up from your boy Ango. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below.